Okay, guys, so you are now back with us on the Apple earnings. Apple earnings has not yet started, so let me make sure that you're all with me in the extra channel. I'll just make sure that everybody's found us okay. So there you go. You are here. Thank you very much indeed. Everyone is finding their way into the Apple. Let me switch account for a moment, and here you go. If you want Amazon earnings on main channel. So if you want the Amazon earnings on the main channel, I'm going to give that to you now. Here is the Amazon earnings on the main channel. There you go. If you want the Amazon earnings on the main channel, there it is to the top, pinned to the top. Okay, so you can find that. Give that to you now. Okay, everybody good? So Apple is up and running. Apple is up and running. Yeah. The Apple, we have some 30 minutes to go before the earnings start, but we're all ready and set. So you're with us there in the Apple earnings. Okay. And what we're going to do is we might as well start the Amazon earnings as well, so both can be live at the same time. There's nothing like a bloody challenge, is there, really? So I might as well do that now. That's working. Let's bring up the Amazon earnings. So you're with me in the Apple earnings. The Amazon earnings can now begin. So I might as well make a start. Okay, Amazon is still selling off. My portfolio is now balanced. It's holding now. It's not losing any more, which is nice because Amazon is still selling, but the portfolio is holding now. So it won't take long before we start getting a rebound. It's overselling. They beat on earnings and they're overselling. So that's fine. Okay, so let's make a start now on the Amazon earnings. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the main channel where we are covering the Amazon earnings. We're live on the extra channel at the same time, about to start the Apple earnings. So if you're listening to me now on the extra channel, you are waiting for the Apple earnings, which is about 30 minutes away. We do have the numbers. The numbers are out. The Amazon numbers are also out. And we are just waiting now for the Apple earnings to start first, and then we'll have the Amazon earnings starting just shortly after. Let me check around the studio. Yes, we're all looking good. Fantastic. So, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me everywhere across all multiple platforms, multiple screens. Thank you very much. It's a very, very big night this evening. So I'm going to give everybody on the extra channel, you have the link pinned to the top if you want to join me for the Amazon earnings. Many of our Lucasades are keeping both channels open at once. And I am now going to give my viewers watching me on the main channel, I'm going to give you the link to the Apple earnings on the extra channel, which is 30 minutes away. Okay, so let me do that now. Let me just type this in to my main audience here on the main channel. Come into the chat. Let me know you're here. I can't see anybody at the moment. I know you're there, but I can't. There's no chat at the moment. So come into the chat. Thank you very much indeed. Why is the stock falling while the earnings are pretty good? It's a rotation. We're going through rotation now. There'll be a really quick bounce back up again. It's why I'm fully in. The businesses are strong and good. They're taking money out just to buy it back. It's a Wall Street final play before we get the rate cuts. That's what's happening. I bought more this morning. You've seen my big video, my road to $1 million. Okay, so Apple earnings. I'm going to give that to the people now watching on the main channel. Apple earnings. Apple earnings is on, whoops-a-daisy, on extra. Let me give that to you. So I'll give that to my viewers on the main channel. There we go. I'll pin that to the top. There you go. So if you want to bounce in between the two. Now then, Apple is happening on the extra channel. You'll be hearing that shortly and I'll stop talking. Of course, the Amazon earnings has a little while to go after that. And again, I'll stop talking, but I will monitor both streams so I'll know what's going on. So that should be quite an event. Anyway, we're all good. So exciting evening for everybody. Guidance, yes, guidance was a bit lower than anticipated, but still lower than Wall Street, but still very, very good. Amazon have had a very good earnings, and there's no need for this. So it's just a rotation. This, to me, is an ideal time to buy. Even if it goes down lower, I don't care. I recognize value, quality. That's what I'm buying right now. Anyway, we're all good. Paul B, stop complaining, you're live. Always just replying to a private message on Discord from Paul B. Lovely to see Paul B in the show tonight. Yeah, excellent stuff. Excellent. Okay. Making sure we're all good. I'm monitoring so many screens at once. It's a little bit of a challenge, but we've got a way to go. In about 15 minutes, we'll start getting the information from Apple coming on the screen. My portfolio is just starting to recover now. Whoa, there goes Apple. Look. There goes Apple. Let's see how it does. Can you see Apple going up there all of a sudden? Let me have a look at what we've got. On Apple on the extra channel, we're covering Apple earnings. On the main channel, we're covering Amazon. Let's have a look. Let me go into my Bloomberg feed and see what I've got here on the screen. Anything? Apple.
Right, they're bouncing around here, so we're trying to make sense of it. Ed,
beat earnings. Beat earnings.
What are you taking away from these?
Yeah, I kind of alluded to this in the preview in the Top Live blog. Great beat for iPhone revenue in the quarter, which is interesting because we're pre-16.
Yeah, like why are people buying phones right now? They should be waiting, right?
And there was a lot of evidence in markets like China that they were buying the 15 generation with the intention of holding on to it. And then I go to the Greater China revenue missing estimates. And the third-party data is not always right. But it did tell us that Apple was slipping in Greater China.
This is the IDC data?
The IDC data.
Okay.
There's Counterpoint Research. There's loads. But my point is that there was worry they did really face domestic pressure on the handset market there. And you always look to China as a point of focus. So you have to read between the lines because on the earnings call, CFO Luca Maestri often addresses that issue head on, how they did in the market in China specifically.
It's a beat, 85 over 84.
Earnings per share coming in $1.40 per share. that beat estimates of $1.35. So it beat there as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at kind of our right-through buyer, Mark Gurman, marking a return to revenue growth last quarter, he says, topping analyst estimates.
Yeah, I'm happy with all of this. Everything's selling off unnecessarily, and I am very happy. All the mega caps are performing well, waiting for my portfolio to bounce back. Very, very happy with that. Very, very happy. So far, so good. Apple is shooting up, so we've got about 12 minutes before we bring in the build-up for the Apple earnings. If you're with me here on the main channel, we're watching Amazon. That'll come afterwards. So it's a very, very exciting evening. Very, very exciting evening. Let's put all the comments on the screen here on the main channel. Why is the stock falling? We've covered that. Lucas A's, James 007. Tap the button on the way in. Please do. Click subscribe and ring the bell. And please do tap the like button as well. On both channels, whether you're watching on the extra channel, or you're watching Apple, or you're with me on the main channel watching Amazon, we will be covering the earnings call when it starts. Okay? So there is, whoops-a-daisy, I just pressed the wrong button there. There's the smash the like button. Okay, smash the like button if you can. That would be great. Let me read more comments that are just coming in. According to Google, the stock is still in the 184 range. RG, maybe guidance was off or something crazy for it to sell off. Everything's looking good now. No more money, says Gio. Welcome to you. Why did it fall off? Is it because of the revenue? No, everything is fine. What we've got is a rotation. This is why I've gone all in today using margin. I'm really fully in on my portfolio, big time. Let me put Amazon up here, and I'll share with you what I've got, so you can all see. AMZN. Okay, here is my Amazon. Here's my main portfolio, and you'll see my overall balance is $103,405. Started with $5,000, and you can see 72. There's margin. Look, see, I'm all in, 100%. I'm full in. I believe in my stocks, my businesses. I'm holding, and I am very, very happy to do so. Right? Is there a good buying opportunity? There is. There is. I am only owning the S&P, though, because of integrity for my channel, though. You all know how that works on this show. So just checking in on the extra channel. The extra channel, if you're watching what's going on, we are here with Amazon on the main channel. And there is Apple on the extra channel, which is behind the scenes. There will be the audio from Apple and all the presentations coming up very shortly. We're just waiting for that to start. If you want to watch both, the Lucas Aids are watching both. I can see them in both channels. Let's put some comments here on the screen from the extra channel, not to miss out. There's Zach from Uganda. Hi, Martin. How you doing? James 007. Let's see earnings beats and rocket S&P back to green, please. Both have beaten. Tim Rogers, hello Martin. Martin, did you see my last comment going through TSA? I'm running. Some of us have to work for a living. Just wanted to say, great show today. Thank you very, very much indeed. Did I see your last comment? I see this comment. I don't know which comment that would be, but you be safe if you are running, traveling today. Okay, let's come back to Amazon. Fantastic. Let me check in with Apple right now. We've got a way to go before Amazon starts. Let me check in on Apple. Here we go. We're getting some information now coming through. So let me go over and refresh this on the extra channel. I'll share with you what I'm doing. I'm running two streams at once. This is the extra channel. So if I go over to here, you will see me bring this up. Okay. So as I take you'll hear my microphone get a bit dim as I move away. Okay, here we go. This is the Apple earnings, and we've got, there we go. Let me check the audio. Unmute. There we go. It's coming through. Great stuff. Apple there. I'm going to leave the chart for a while, so we can watch the chart. There's nothing to share with you at the moment. Back here to the microphone. that we're all set there for the Apple earnings on the Extra channel. Very, very good indeed. Very exciting evening. I've gone all in and I'm super excited. Hi, Mike on the Extra. How are you? This is the first time I bought Amazon. Congratulations. Geo, where are you from? What country are you from? Tell me and I will speak your language. We have members in 63 countries and we speak in 14 languages. So there we go. All right, what country are you from? And I will speak your language. Now then, while we're waiting, we have a few minutes to go before the Apple earnings begins and a little bit longer to go before the Amazon earnings begin. Once the Apple earnings begins, I will be muted. They will not hear me anymore. I'm from China, but live in England. So what is your native language? So before we go into the earnings for Apple will be first on the Extra channel. This is the Extra channel, folks. So if you want to jump in there now. Oops. Oh, hang on a minute. I love it. I love a challenge. All right. I've got to do this again. It keeps challenging me. All right. Okay. Accounts. Don't know why it keeps doing this, but I'll do it again. Just bear with me a second. I've got to keep doing this every day at the moment. Thank you, Raya, for your subscription. Okay, let me continue that. Allow that. Continue to Stream Deck. Open. I don't quite know why it's being like this, but we're having these issues. Right, here is the Extra channel. There you go. If you want to jump in to the Extra channel and watch the Apple earnings, you can. Here on the main channel, we're doing the Amazon. Now then, just before, we've got about 5 minutes to go before I check audio with Apple. So what I'd like to do is, as we've got a lot of people here, as you know, I put a video out today, my road to $1 million live on the show. This is my portfolio. I'm worth $103,285, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to get to $1 million live on the show. So you can watch me do that in real terms in live, okay? But I also would like to raise millions of dollars for your favorite charity. It's something I want to do to help people, right? I just love helping people. It gives me a great thrill, right? For those of you who don't know, I was voted by Sir Elton John as the world piano man. This is my YouTube channel here. And I want to raise millions of dollars for charity. Now, I've already raised lots of money, but unfortunately, in the past, there's been credit card fees, charges and costs. Not from me. I've always done it for free, but there's always costs involved, okay? But now we've got a wonderful thing that if I can get to 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I'm at 5,900. Can you see on the screen? If I get to 10,000, YouTube are going to turn on charitable giving. So all my ad revenue, all my concerts will go to charities. Now, if you help me, you can decide what charity you want me to do concerts for, and the money will go directly to your charities. So here is the music channel. There it is. I'll put it 3 times in the chat. All I ask you to do is simply become a subscriber. You don't have to watch my music, listen to my music. If you want to, you can hear me with my Vegas showgirls. I had a West End show. I've got my own Vegas show. You can do all those things, but all I ask you to do is subscribe to me. Now, if you subscribe to me, it's free. Okay, it's free. If you then tell all your friends to subscribe to me, you can then come back and say, Martyn, I've just got you 100 subscribers. We would like you to do a fundraiser concert for cancer research or save the children or helping those in the war or whatever. I will do that for free. And the money that the videos and the concert raises will go directly to your favorite charity. Not me, no fees, no charges. YouTube now do charitable giving. So All you've got to do is subscribe. And if you do it, your name will come up on the screen. If you share your public subscriptions, they will. Okay? So if you'd like to do that, that would be amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see what the YouTube count is. And if it changes, it's just gone up by 3. It's just gone up by 3. I'm going to share. Oh, there we go. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Here it is on the screen. Okay, by the end of the year, then I can start doing these events. So here we go. We're at 5,912. We were 5,909 a couple of moments ago. Right, we have about 3 minutes to go before I'm going to check the audio for the Apple earnings, and then we've got another half an hour before the Amazon earnings audio begins, and then we go quiet and listen in to the audio. Right, so there you go. I want to raise millions of dollars for charity, your charity of choice. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. And another one. This is fantastic. Thank you so much indeed. I'll give you the link again on both channels. If you want to listen to my music, you can hear me do. I've got a video when I've got Paul McCartney on the screen with me. You can see me wearing my Elton John jacket when I did Candle in the Wind. You can see that, Lion King. You can see me do Phantom of the Opera. You can see me do special tributes to Joey, who died from Friends. Tribute to the King, the Queen, all fundraiser events. You can see all of that. If you want to listen to my music, please do. But all I want you to do really is to become a subscriber. There you go. All right, there's the link once again. Thank you very much, everybody who has done that. That's massive. Remember, it's not for me. If you don't subscribe, you're taking money away from charities. I want to do the whole thing for free. I just need your help to do it. Okay? Simple. And you can choose what charity you want me to do. All right? How cool is that? I just love doing it, right? I've got what I need in life. Now it's time to give back. I just need you to help me do it. Right, okay, let's have a look. Did the subscriber count move? Let's have a quick look. You didn't come back to me what your language was. Was it Chinese? 5,912, 5,913. Fantastic. We've gained 4 tonight then. That's amazing. Thank you ever so much, everybody. We're on the way. Check out the music if you want to, but that's not the reason for this. It's just so you can get me to 10,000. Right. Now then, thank you, Mike. You are welcome. Lennart Mahler, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And don't forget, if you tell all your friends to subscribe to me on the music channel, please message me on X or during the live show and say, Martyn, I've done this. 100 people now have subscribed to you because they're all my friends. We would like you to do a fundraiser to raise money for this charity. And as long as it's a registered charity, I will do it. Absolutely free of charge. And all the money will go to you. 100%. Ad revenue, super chats, everything, all to you. So all you got to do is subscribe and let me know what you've done. All right, good. That's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't get better than that. Okay, let me go and check now the audio for Apple. We should be coming through now. Let me super chats, bring this up to date, all to you. So all you got to do is subscribe. I'm going to go and check the audio now for... All right, good. That's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't get better than that. Okay, let me go and check now the audio for Apple. We should be coming through now. Let me super chats, bring this up to date, all to you. So all you got to do is subscribe. I'm going to go and check the audio now for... All right, good. That's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't get better than that. Okay, let me go and check now the audio for Apple. We should be coming through now. Let me super chats, bring this up to date, all to you. So all you got to do is subscribe. I'm going to check the audio now for... Good. That's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't get better than that. Okay, let me go and check now the audio for Apple. We should be coming through now. Any super chats, everything's up to date, all to you. So all you got to do is subscribe. I'm going to check the audio now for... Good. That's pretty good, doesn't get better than that. Okay, let me go and check now the audio. Don't mean I don't love you, baby, I'm a little control. Okay, let me go and check now the audio. Okay, let me go and check now the audio. Let's mute that quick. Okay, good. That's all good. We're fine there. Okay, Apple is just 10 minutes away. So in 10 minutes we will mute that. I will mute myself talking and we'll go over to the Apple earnings, okay? We're all good. And then we'll focus on the Amazon earnings here on the main channel. Brilliant. I have no friends. That's like me, Leonard. I live in a dark house. You do now. That's right. You do now. We have members in 63 countries, 14 languages. Amazon's down because of their report for some reason. I guess it will find out soon. Same for Microsoft, I guess. No problem at all. I'm not worried. Hi, Martin. I haven't seen you since we're at Nidaz. Sharon, under Michael's login. Mr. Elliott, haven't seen you since we were at Nidaz. Sharon, under Michael's login. M. Elliott, not sure I know what you mean. Sorry. Leonard, Amazon, their AOS is having problems as well as they are trying to get into the tech market. RG, thank you very, very much for that. Right. Amazon. Okay, let me do that. Let me switch back. Switch account, extra. Content. Live. 10 minutes to go before Amazon earnings starts. You're in the right place, bear with me. Yeah, all good. Switch account. All good indeed. Keeping our eye on all the feeds, making sure everything is good for you. There we go. It's now coming back up. I like it. Welcome now. While we're waiting, we have 10 minutes to go before we can start Apple's earnings, and then Amazon will happen just after that. Let's see if this works. Okay, let me add this then. Okay, just got to add this. We're having some wonderful technical issues, but it's all part of the fun and games. Kaylin, thank you so much indeed for your support. Right, now then, if you're watching me here on the main channel, here is AlphaSpread. That is the software that I use. I know the CEO. It's the best software to review stocks, I believe. The best AI software I use all the time. It's how I know what I know about stocks. All my members can use it for free. And if you are a member, you can get a discount better than what Bloomberg CNBC can give you. It's the best discount. It basically makes my membership for free. Okay? There it is. That's on the extra channel and the main channel. Here is the music channel we were just talking about. On both channels, there it is. Go and subscribe to the music channel. We're trying to give away millions of dollars in charities. If your charity, all you got to do is pick one and tell me what you want me to do. Do a live concert for your favorite charity. Just get me to 10,000 subscribers and I will do that for you. If you want to become a member of our channel, 98% of our live viewers on a regular show are members. There is the membership link. If you want to follow me on X, there is the X account. I post all my trades there, and that's where you can communicate with me and say, "Hey, Martin, I got 100 subscribers for you. Can you do a fundraiser for cancer research or help those in the war, save the children, whatever it might be?" If you want the newsletter and you want the birthday and Christmas card, there it is. And if you want Discord, we have training. We have scalp trading training, but we provide it for free. We don't charge like other YouTube channels. We give it for free. If you click on the Discord and you become a member, you won't see anything at all until you do one of two things. Either you become a subscriber to Discord, then all the channels become available, or you become a YouTube member and you get it for free. But if you are a YouTube member, you need to join me on a live show, and you need to give me your username in the chat so I can go and find you and upgrade you. I do it manually to protect it and make sure it's done properly and all the rest of it, to make sure that you know how it all works. Okay, it doesn't happen automatically. When is the Amazon earnings tout? Is that tout W? The Amazon earnings is in half an hour. Half an hour. We are 7 minutes away from the Apple earnings. 7 minutes away. Apple earnings will start first here on the extra channel. There is the link in the main channel to the extra channel, and everybody on the extra channel, you already know you're already there because you're looking at the Apple chart on the screen. So the Apple earnings will start 30 minutes before the Amazon earnings. And when the Apple earnings begins, I will stop talking and I will be muting myself so Tim Cook and the team can take over from me. Kind of makes sense? Absolutely. All right. Okay. Why is the market down today? I explained it all today in my video, which was the road to $1 million. It's rotation out of mega caps into small caps just to drive the market down to buy it back. It's a bullish sign. People often think when stocks go down, it's bearish. It's not. It's going to come straight back up again. That's why I'm all in. It's very important to understand that. Right, Leah, I need, how am I going to do this? How can I do this? I suppose, how can I do this? No, that's all right. I don't need anything. It's fine. I can manage it. I was just thinking to myself, don't worry about me. I'm talking nonsense. Right, we got 5 minutes to go. So I'm just going to check this. No, that's all right. Okay, check that there. I was just thinking. Okay, we're good. Right, Apple earnings. I'm now going to listen in. And the moment Apple earnings begins, I'm going to start it on the extra channel. I am going to mute myself so you won't hear me until the end of the earnings. And we'll then be taking over here with the main channel with the Amazon earnings. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. We've got just 3 minutes to go. Let's listen in to Apple. Yeah, I'm fine now, Leah. Thank you. Right. Let me unmute this. We want to be very careful for copyright. Apple is terrible with things like that. Well, they're not terrible. It's a good thing, but I just have to keep checking. So they will probably be a couple of minutes late. Most of these earnings are a couple of minutes late. Don't be worried about that. That's how it goes. So if you just tuned in, click subscribe or ring the bell and tap the like button as well. It really, really helps. If you've just tuned in and you missed what I said, we're trying to raise millions of dollars for charity, your charity, the charity that you want. You can ask me to do on my music channel. I'm going to do fundraiser concerts. I'm the world piano man, and I'm going to do fundraiser concerts where all the money that gets raised through the YouTube will go directly to your registered charity. If you want to help me with that, there is the music channel link. Click on that, tell all your friends, and if you get a number of people to do it, come back to me and say, hey Martin, we've got 100 people have subscribed to you. You're now at 10,000 subscribers. That's when YouTube turn it on. It's called charitable giving. Could you do a fundraiser concert for my favorite charity? And I will do it for free. And all the money raised through YouTube will go directly to your favorite charity. And if you subscribe now, your name will come up on the screen. If you are a public subscriber, it will show. And that would be amazing. Right, 3 minutes to go. Let me check in on Amazon, Apple. Still playing audio. After Apple begins, we'll switch over to, Apple will take over on the extra channel. This is the extra channel is this link I'm going to give you now. And everybody on the extra channel, here is the main channel. Okay, there you go. When the Apple earnings begins in the next couple of moments, we will be muted there and you'll be listening into the earnings. And here on the extra channel, on the main channel, sorry, we'll be waiting for the Amazon earnings to begin. All right? Hopefully that all makes sense to everybody. Okay. Not that long to go now. 2 minutes. It'll probably be 2 minutes late. That very often is what happens, but that's not a problem. My portfolio is now coming up. There's my portfolio. Hit the bottom. I'm happy. I'm all in. I'm now worth 103,455. I've never shorted a stock. I don't do options. You all know that. Okay. Just moments to go. We've got 61 watching on the main channel, and we've got 31 watching on the extra. We've probably got some watching on both because our Lucasades, our army, are massive supporters of everything that we do, and they're probably watching both, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Right, 1 minute to go. Oh, John Shah just subscribed to the extra channel. The extra channel is members only. It's viewable by everybody. You can listen in, watch and everything, but it is only, you can only chat in the extra channel if you are a member. It's only 99 cents. The reason for that is it's our live trading channel. We're live in the trading channel 12 hours a day, and we don't want bots and scammers and people coming in making up stuff. So we put a paywall up of 99 cents, and that's all it took to stop all the idiots. So it just shows you, doesn't it? Oh, I know how to get rich. Can you afford 99 cents? Well, no. Okay then, bugger off, back down your hole again. Right, I'm listening into Apple. Okay, when the audio comes, I will switch, I will mute myself, and we will bring you the audio. Okay? So stand by, Apple audience on the extra channel. And everybody here on the main channel, stay where you are if you want Amazon earnings. Fantastic. Woo! What a night! 2 earnings at once. It's all about how hard you can work. Work harder than anyone else. Never give up. Love life, and you'll always win. That's it. Easy. Life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. Life is bloody unfair. When you realize that and just focus on what you're doing, it all works out. Never give up. Thank you, James, for the love on TikTok. I can see you, mate. Nothing goes unnoticed.
The Apple fiscal.
Here we go.
To questions from analysts. Please note that some of the information you'll hear during our discussion today will consist of forward-looking statements, including, without limitation, those regarding revenue, gross margin, operating expenses, other income and expense, taxes, capital allocation, and future business outlook, including the potential impact of macroeconomic conditions on the company's business and results of operations. These statements involve risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results or trends to differ materially from our forecast. For more information, please refer to the risk factors discussed in Apple's most recently filed annual report on Form 10-K and the Form 8-K filed with the SEC today, along with the associated press release. Apple assumes no obligation to update any forward-looking statements which speak only as of the date they are made. I'd now like to turn the call over to Tim for introductory remarks.
Thank you, Suhasini. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining the call. Today, Apple is reporting a new June quarter revenue record of $85.8 billion, up 5% from a year ago and better than we had expected. EPS grew double digits to $1.40 and achieved a record for the June quarter. We also set quarterly revenue records in more than 24 countries and regions, including Canada, Mexico, France, Germany, the UK, India, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Thailand. And we set an all-time revenue record in services, which grew 14%. At our Worldwide Developers Conference, we were thrilled to unveil game-changing updates across our platforms, including Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence builds on years of innovation and investment in AI and machine learning. It will transform how users interact with technology, from writing tools to help you express yourself, to Image Playground, which gives you the ability to create fun images and communicate in new ways, to powerful tools for summarizing and prioritizing notifications. Siri also becomes more natural, more useful, and more personal than ever. Apple Intelligence is built on a foundation of privacy, both through on-device processing that does not collect users' data and through private cloud compute, a groundbreaking new approach to using the cloud while protecting users' information, powered by Apple Silicon. We are also integrating ChatGPT into experiences within iPhone, Mac, and iPad, enabling users to draw on a broad base of world knowledge. We are very excited about Apple Intelligence, and we remain incredibly optimistic about the extraordinary possibilities of AI and its ability to enrich customers' lives. We will continue to make significant investments in this technology and dedicate ourselves to the innovation that will unlock its full potential. Recently, we've also been excited to bring Apple Vision Pro to more countries, giving customers the chance to discover the remarkable capabilities of this magical device. Vision Pro users are customizing their own workspaces, watching movies on 100-foot screens, and exploring entire worlds with just a pinch of their fingertips. With more than 2,500 native spatial apps and 1.5 million compatible apps for Vision OS, the developer community continues to pioneer stunning spatial experiences that are only possible with Vision Pro. Last month, we announced that we're bringing some amazing new immersive content to Vision Pro, including new series, concerts, films, and more. And we've seen great interest for Vision Pro in the enterprise, where it can empower companies large and small to pursue their best ideas like never before. With each innovation, we're unlocking new ways of working, new ways of learning, and new ways of tapping into the unlimited promise of human potential. We're doing that across every product and every service. Now let me share more detail on our June quarter results, beginning with iPhone. iPhone revenue was $39.3 billion, down 1% year over year. On a constant currency basis, we grew compared to last year. Customers continue to praise the iPhone 15 lineup for its incredible battery life, exceptional cameras, and unmatched power and performance. And we are excited to bring incredible new features to the iPhone with iOS 18, making it more personal, capable, and intelligent than ever before. This update includes the biggest redesign of the Photos app, new customization options for the home screen, messages over satellite, and the introduction of Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence utilizes the power of our most advanced iPhones, the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, offering a transformative set of capabilities. Mac revenue was $7 billion, up 2% from a year ago. Customers are loving the latest M3-powered 13 and 15-inch MacBook Air. With back-to-school season upon us, MacBook Air is the perfect companion for students on campus. And small business owners, developers, and creatives of all kinds depend on Mac to do more than they ever could before. Powered by Apple Silicon with its neural engine and privacy built in at the chip level, Macs are simply the best personal computers for AI. And every Mac we've shipped with Apple Silicon since 2020 is capable of taking advantage of Apple Intelligence with macOS Sequoia. We also know the importance of security for our users and enterprises, so we continue to advance protections across our products. Turning to iPad, revenue was $7.2 billion, 24% higher year over year. During the quarter, we had an incredible launch where we unveiled the all-new 11 and 13-inch iPad Air, the perfect device for education, entertainment, and so much more. And with the new iPad Pro, we pushed the boundaries of power-efficient performance with the remarkable M4 chip, the engine behind this incredibly thin device. By leveraging the latest in Apple Silicon, video editors and musicians can take advantage of the cutting-edge AI features in Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro. And we're very excited that iPad Pro and iPad Air models powered by the M series of Apple Silicon will be able to utilize the powerful capabilities of Apple Intelligence. In wearables, home, and accessories, revenue was $8.1 billion, down 2% from a year ago. Apple Watch is empowering users to live a healthier day with a range of tools to take charge of their wellness journeys. At the core of Apple Watch are powerful AI features that are helping users get help when they need it most, from irregular heart rhythm notifications to walking steadiness to crash detection and fall detection. I've heard time and again how meaningful these features are for users and their loved ones, and their stories motivate us to keep pushing forward on this vital work. As I mentioned earlier, in services, we set an all-time revenue record of $24.2 billion, with paid subscriptions climbing to an all-time high. We achieved revenue records in the majority of the services categories, with all-time revenue records in advertising, cloud, and payment services. Apple TV Plus productions are delighting audiences on screens large and small. We're sharing powerful works of imagination with series and movies like Presumed Innocent, the upcoming Disclaimer, and The Instigator starring Matt Damon. And we can't wait for returning fan favorites with new seasons of The Morning Show, Slow Horses, and Severance. Apple TV Plus productions also continue to earn accolades with nearly 2,300 nominations and 500 wins to date. That includes 72 Emmy Award nominations across 16 programs, our best ever showing for the upcoming awards event. During the quarter, we also expanded Tap to Pay on iPhone to more markets, including Japan, Canada, Italy, and Germany, enabling more businesses to use the power of iPhone to accept contactless payments. And we announced new updates to our services coming this fall, including U.S. National Park hikes and custom walk routes in Apple Maps, the ability to pay with rewards using Apple Pay, collaborative listening with Apple Music, and a redesigned Apple Fitness Plus experience to help users make the most of our library of workouts and meditations. Turning to retail, we continue to expand in emerging markets with our first ever location in Malaysia. Customers from all over the country came together with our team members to celebrate this special moment. Elsewhere in the world, our teams have been sharing the magic of Apple Vision Pro in demos that delight, inspire, and deeply move customers exploring the wonders of spatial computing for the first time. At the heart of all of our innovations are the values that guide everything we do. We believe fundamentally that the best technology is technology that works for everyone, And in honor of Global Accessibility Awareness Day, we introduced all new capabilities to give users more ways to take advantage of all our products can do. These include eye tracking for users to control iPhone or iPad visually, music haptics to give those who are deaf or hard of hearing a tangible way to experience music, and vocal shortcuts that tie tasks to a user's voice. And we are committed as ever to shipping products that offer the highest standards of privacy for our users. With everything we do, whether it's offering a browser like Safari that prevents third parties from tracking you across the internet, or providing new features like the ability to lock and hide apps, we are determined to keep our users in control of their own data. And we are just as dedicated to ensuring the security of our users' data. That's why we work to minimize the amount of data we collect and work to maximize how much is processed directly on people's devices, a foundational principle that is at the core of all we build, including Apple Intelligence. And we continue to make significant progress on the environment. We are proud to say that all of our data centers, including those that will run private cloud compute, operate on 100% renewable energy. At Apple, we're constantly accelerating our pace of innovation. We are a company in relentless pursuit of big ideas. Time and again, we've seen how a spark of creativity can reach breakthrough velocity, reach across previously unexplored dimensions, and ultimately take flight in ways that can change the world. It's why we're going to keep investing in the meaningful innovation that enriches the lives of all of our customers. We have a busy time ahead of us, and I couldn't be more excited for all the amazing things yet to come. With that, I'll turn it over to Luca.
Thank you, Tim, and good afternoon, everyone. We're very pleased to report a new June quarter revenue record of $85.8 billion, up 5% year over year, despite 230 basis points of negative foreign exchange impact. We achieved growth in the vast majority of our markets, with June quarter revenue records in the Americas, Europe, and rest of Asia Pacific. Products revenue was $61.6 billion, up 2% year over year, driven by the launch of the new iPad Pro and iPad Air. Our installed base of active devices reached an all-time high across all products and geographic segments, thanks to our unmatched levels of customer satisfaction and loyalty, and a large number of customers who are new to our products. Services revenue reached an all-time record of $24.2 billion, up 14% year over year, with an all-time record in developed markets and a June quarter record in emerging markets. Company gross margin was 46.3%, near the high end of our guidance range, and down 30 basis points sequentially, driven by a different mix within products, which was partially offset by a favorable mix shift towards services and cost savings. Products gross margin was 35.3%, down 130 basis points sequentially, primarily driven by mix, partially offset by favorable costs. Services gross margin was 74%, down 60 basis points from last quarter. Operating expenses of $14.3 billion were at the low end of the guidance range we provided and up 7% year over year. Net income was $21.4 billion, diluted EPS of $1.40 was up 11% year over year and set a June quarter record. And operating cash flow was very strong at $28.9 billion, also a June quarter record. Let me get into more detail for each of our revenue categories. iPhone revenue was $39.3 billion, down 1% year over year, but grew on a constant currency basis. We set June quarter records across several countries, including the UK, Spain, Poland, Mexico, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And the iPhone active installed base grew to a new all-time high in total and in every geographic segment. During the June quarter, many iPhone models were among the top-selling smartphones around the world. In fact, according to a survey from Kantar, iPhone was the top-selling model in the US, urban China, the UK, Germany, Australia, and Japan. Customer satisfaction on the iPhone 15 family continues to be extremely high, with 451 Research measuring it at 98% in the US in their latest reports. Mac generated $7 billion in revenue, up 2% year over year, driven by the MacBook Air powered by the M3 chip. We saw particularly strong performance in our emerging markets, with June quarter records for Mac in Latin America, India, and South Asia. The Mac install base reached an all-time high, with half of MacBook Air customers in the quarter being new to Mac. And customer satisfaction for Mac was recently reported at 96% in the US. iPad revenue was $7.2 billion, up 24% year over year, driven by the launch of the new iPad Pro and iPad Air. Customers are loving the latest iPad lineup for its new design and display, unparalleled performance, AI capabilities, and much more. The iPad installed base has continued to grow and is an all-time high, as half of the customers who purchased iPads during the quarter were new to the product. Also, customer satisfaction was recently measured at 97% in the US. Wearables, home, and accessories revenue was $8.1 billion, down 2% year over year, a sequential acceleration from the March quarter. Watch and AirPods continue to face a difficult compare against prior year launches of the AirPods Pro second generation, the Watch SE, and the first
Hello
Watch
from the main
Ultra.
channel. Please tap the
Apple
like
Watch
button and click
continues to
subscribe.
attract new
We're
customers,
having a
with
competition
almost
between our
two-thirds of
channel
customers
and your
purchasing
channel.
an Apple
Smash
Watch
the
during
like.
the quarter
Thank you.
being new to the product, sending the Apple Watch install base to a new all-time high. And the latest reports from 451 Research indicated customer satisfaction of 97% for Watch in the US. In services, total revenue reached an all-time record of $24.2 billion, growing 14% year over year. We continue to have great momentum in services as the growth of our installed base of active devices sets a strong foundation for the future expansion of our ecosystem. And we see increased customer engagement with our services offerings. Both transacting accounts and paid accounts reach a new all-time high, with paid accounts growing double digits year over year. Also, paid subscriptions showed strong double-digit growth. We have well over 1 billion paid subscriptions across the services on our platform, more than double the number that we had only 4 years ago. And we're constantly focused on improving the breadth and quality of our services, from critically acclaimed new content on Apple TV Plus to new games on Apple Arcade and the many latest features we previewed during WWDC for iCloud, Apple Pay, Apple Cash, Apple Music, and more. Turning to enterprise, we continue to see businesses leveraging our entire suite of products to drive productivity and creativity for their teams and customers. USAA, a leading insurance and financial services company, recently expanded beyond their existing iPhone and iPad deployments to provide their employees with the latest MacBook Air. And American Express has continued to add to their fleet of over 10,000 Macs to enhance their employees' productivity, security, and collaboration. We're also excited to see leading organizations such as Boston Children's Hospital and Lufthansa using Apple Vision Pro to build innovative spatial computing experiences to transform the training of their workforces. Let me now turn to our cash position and capital return program. We ended the quarter with $153 billion in cash and marketable securities. We repaid $4.3 billion in maturing debt and increased commercial paper by $1 billion, leaving us with total debt of $101 billion. As a result, net cash was $52 billion at the end of the quarter. During the quarter, we returned over $32 billion to shareholders, including $3.9 billion in dividends and equivalents and $26 billion through open market repurchases of 139 million Apple shares. As we move ahead into the September quarter, I'd like to review our outlook, which includes the types of forward-looking information that Suhasini referred to at the beginning of the call. The color we're providing today assumes that the macroeconomic outlook doesn't worsen from what we are projecting today for the current quarter. We expect foreign exchange to continue to be a headwind and to have a negative impact on revenue of about 1.5 percentage points on a year-over-year basis. We expect our September quarter total year at a rate similar to the June quarter. We expect services revenue to grow double digits at a rate similar to what we reported in the first 3 quarters of this fiscal year. We expect gross margin to be between 45.5% and 46.5%. We expect OPEX to be between $14.2 and $14.4 billion. We expect OI&E to be around negative $50 million, excluding any potential impact from the mark-to-market of minority investments, and our tax rate to be around 16.5%. Finally, today our board of directors has declared a cash dividend of 25 cents per share of common stock payable on August 15, 2024, to shareholders of record as of August 12, 2024. With that, let's open the call to questions.
Thank you, Luca. We ask that you limit yourself to 2 questions. Operator, may we have the first question, please?
Certainly. We will go ahead and take our first question from Eric Woodring with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much for taking my question. Maybe, Tim, if we start with you, I thought some of the color you provided before the call about iPhone 15 performing better than the iPhone 14 was interesting. So just with that context, can you maybe help us understand where you see iPhone replacement cycles today, where you think the size of the base of iPhones that are aged and likely to upgrade are, and what that translates to in potential pent-up demand as we enter a new iPhone cycle? And I have a follow-up. Thank you.
Yes, hi, Eric. The install base hit an all-time high during the quarter, and so we were very happy about that. iPhone in general grew in constant currency, and the 15, as you point out, if you look at the same number of weeks of the 15 from launch and compare that to the 14, the 15 is doing better than the 14. And so that's kind of a state of where we currently are. In terms of upgrade rates, it's very difficult mid-cycle to call upgrade rates. I would just say that with Apple Intelligence, we're very excited and about the level of value that we're going to provide to users. And we believe that presents another reason for a compelling upgrade.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
And then second to that, can you maybe dig into the China dynamics a bit? Sales down 6% this quarter, 3% in constant currency, an improvement from last quarter on a tougher compare. That came on the back of some iPhone discounting. So can you maybe just share color on the China market as a whole, how much you believe promotions helped in the quarter, how sustainable this improvement is, and if this performance really changes any of your approach to the China market as we look forward? Thanks so much.
Yeah, Eric, as you point out, we decreased by 6.5% year over year for the whole of Greater China. And if you look at it on a constant currency basis, we declined by less than 3%. So over 50% of the decline year over year is currency related. That is an improvement from the first half of the fiscal year, and so we're happy to see the acceleration. If you look at iPhone in particular for Greater China, the install base set a record. We also, in mainland China, set a June quarter record for upgraders. And so that's a very strong signal. And in fact, from Kantar, the survey from Kantar this quarter showed that iPhones were the top 3 models in urban China. Also, if you look at one of the things we look at is the 15 family compared to the 14 family for the same number of weeks from launch. So this goes all the way back to the September of 23. If you look at that, the 15 is outperforming the 14. And so those are some of the color I would provide. In addition, one of the things that we're very focused on is the level of new customers buying our products. And so if you look at this on the Mac and iPad, in mainland China, the majority of customers buying for the first time, buying that product for the first time, and the watch, the vast majority of people are buying the product for the first time. And during the quarter, I should say also that iPad returned to growth in Greater China as it did around the world. And so we continue to be confident in the long-term opportunity in China. I don't know how every chapter of the book reads, but we're very confident in the long term.
Great, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Operator, may we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Ben Reitzies with Melius. Please go ahead.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hey, Tim, you know, now that you've launched or announced Apple Intelligence, do you have any ideas on how it may impact services? Do you feel like it'll accelerate your services business, augment it, and maybe folks will need to buy more storage and some other things? How are you thinking about it as a catalyst for services into next year? And I have a follow-up. Thanks.
You know, we started the rollout of Apple Intelligence this week with developers. So some of the features are out there as of Monday, and we couldn't be more excited about getting them out there. Obviously, this will enable developers to take their apps to the next level. And so we're taking this first step in getting the beta out there, and we can't wait to see what kind of amazing things they do with it.
Okay, thanks. And then Luca, with regard to gross margin, it's been there's been some component price inflation and mix. Do you mind just, giving us a little more color on how you're managing that sequentially and how you feel about the current component environment as an impact on margins? Thanks.
Sure, Ben. I think I'll give you a bit of the walk for the June quarter and then get into the outlook that we provided for the September quarter. At the total company level, we've reported 46.3%. It is down 30 basis points sequentially, and it was really driven by a different mix within products. Of course, we launched a very important product like the iPad during the course of the quarter, but we had an offset from a shift in mix towards services, and we got some good cost savings. And so when you look at it on a year-over-year basis, we are up significantly on the margin front. And keep in mind that foreign exchange continues to be a bit of a headwind for us. As we go into the September quarter, we are guiding 45.5 to 46.5, which is kind of within the guidance that we provided last quarter. Again, similar dynamics. We expect a slightly different mix. We expect foreign exchange to have a minimal impact sequentially, although a more significant impact on a year-over-year basis. On the commodities side, I think that's what you're referring to. Yes, we've seen some increases on the memory front, but the rest of the commodities, we see a continuous decline. So in general, we feel we're well positioned, and as you know well, these are very high levels of gross margin for us, and we're pleased where we are.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ben. Operator, may we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Mike Ng with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I just have two questions. First, I was wondering if you could talk about whether or not you've seen a shift in demand for iPhone 15 Pro, Pro Max model since WWDC that could potentially foreshadow consumer demand for Apple Intelligence-enabled phones.
We just announced the sort of the requirements at the system and the silicon level in June, and so we had very limited time during the quarter. So it's really too early to tell.
That's fair. And then, with the focus on upgrader potential over the next several years, I was just wondering if you could talk about what you're expecting from the U.S. promotional environment from your channel partners, whether that's U.S. wireless carriers, given the importance of device sales for those partners during an upgrade cycle, or any retail support on what could be a very strong smartphone upgrade period. Thank you.
We are very excited about Apple Intelligence and what it brings, and it's another compelling reason for an upgrade. I'd leave the promotional question for the carriers themselves to answer, but I believe it will be a very key time and a compelling upgrade cycle.
Great. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Operator, can we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Amit Daryanani with Evercore. Please go ahead.
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone, and I too as well. I guess, Tim, maybe back to the Apple Intelligence dynamic. There's clearly a lot of excitement from consumers around what Apple Intelligence could mean to them. Can you just touch on, do you think the intent is to launch all the Apple Intelligence features at the same time to consumers, or do you think they end up getting staggered a bit? And if they are staggered, do you think it impacts how consumers come out and buy the next generation iPhone?
The rollout, as we mentioned in June, we've actually started with developers this week. We started with some features of Apple Intelligence, not the complete suite. There are other features like languages beyond U.S. English that will happen over the course of the year, and there are other features that will happen over the course of the year. And ChatGPT is integrated by the end of the calendar year. And so, yes, so it is a staggered launch.
Got it. And then, I guess your services growth rates have been extremely impressive for several quarters, and seems like it's accelerated recently. Can you just talk about, when you look at this double-digit growth, how much of that do you think is coming from the install base growth versus, better ARPU or better monetization of the install base? And, how do you kind of see that mix changing as you go forward?
Yes, it's Luca. It's a combination of a number of factors. The install base growth is very important, of course, because we have a larger pool of customers that uses the ecosystem and uses our services. We are seeing, and we've seen this consistently for many, many quarters now, we see continued growth in the level of engagement that our customers have with our ecosystem. We have more transacting accounts every quarter, so more people using the ecosystem, both the free elements of the ecosystem and the paid elements. We see paid accounts growing double digits, and we've seen that for many, many quarters now. We look at our paid subscriptions on our platform, and they're growing strong double digits as well. So obviously, the growing level of engagement helps us, both from an ARPU standpoint and just a volume standpoint. Obviously, as you've seen over the last several years, we launch new services over time. And we've launched many new services fairly recently. Obviously our payments business is relatively new. Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Fitness Plus, so many other services we've added. And so we're providing more and more opportunities for our customers to interact with the ecosystem. And we believe we're doing also a very good job at improving the quality of these services and improving the amount of content that we make available. We continue to make significant investments on TV Plus, on Apple Arcade. We're launching in new shows, new games all the time. And I think you will continue to see that as we go forward. We're very, very happy with the 14% growth that we had this quarter, because particularly if you look at the performance that we had in services a year ago, the compares for us tend to get a bit more challenging in the second half of our fiscal year. But in spite of that, we delivered a level of growth that was better than what we were expecting at the beginning of the quarter.
Thanks, Amit. Operator, we'll take the next question, please.
Our next question is from Wamsi Mohan with Bank of America. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Tim, you announced Apple Intelligence, but you also announced partnerships with OpenAI and presumably more coming down the road. How should investors think about the monetization models around these partnerships, where the CapEx investments are clearly being made by these potential partners, but you're obviously they're leveraging your distribution to your very attractive install base. So in the long term, do you see the Apple Intelligence part, the services growth from Apple Intelligence being the larger contributor over time, or do you see these partnerships becoming a larger contributor over time? And I will follow up.
I think, the way that I look at it is that Apple Intelligence is the on-device processing and the private cloud compute. And a lot of that will be things with a personal context. And then for world knowledge, we are integrating with ChatGPT initially. And that will be focused on world knowledge, as I said. And so the monetization model, I don't want to get into the terms of the commercial agreements because they're confidential between the parties. But I see both aspects as being very important. People want both.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
As a follow-up, maybe for Luca, just stepping back to the gross margin discussion again. If I look at calendar 23, you had on average 150 basis points increase in product gross margins on a year-on-year basis. In 2024 so far, we've been more flat year-on-year. When we think about that, is the incremental headwinds, there was FX headwinds throughout the last several years. So ex-FX, are there other incremental headwinds that are either temporary or structural in nature that are perhaps limiting further upside to what are obviously very strong gross margins? Thank you.
Yeah, of course, as you said, the foreign exchange continues to be, this is incremental on a year-over-year basis, and it's one of those things that is outside of our control. We try to hedge our exposures, but it is what it is. We know that when the dollar is strong, our gross margins are affected. The other element that I think it's always important to keep in mind is that within the products business, our products have different margins profiles, and depending on their relative success in the marketplace, our products gross margin tends to move. And so the mix of our products has an impact on gross margins, right? And so we need to pay attention to that. Of course, we just launched an iPad, and that, is one of the factors. But we want all our products to be very successful in the marketplace, and that's why we always look at, gross margin dollars as the first order of priority, and gross margin percentage tends to follow from that. The other factor that obviously has an impact, a significant impact, is the state of the commodity markets, and they tend to go in cycles, and so we'll see how that plays out over time. But in general, we feel good about the level of gross margins that we have for our products business, and we think we're in a good position there.
Thanks, Luca.
Thanks, Wamsi. Operator, can we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Krish Sankar with TD Cowen. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, thanks for taking my question, and congrats on the strong results. The first one for Luca or Tim. We keep hearing about these increasing silicon content for AI edge devices. And also, I think, Luca, you spoke about increasing commodity costs. So I'm curious how to think about margins for these new AI devices. And Tim, do any of these Apple Intelligence features need more hardware updates than what we have today? And then I had a quick follow-up.
Maybe I'll take the second one first and then pass it over to Luca. In terms of the requirements to run Apple Intelligence, there are system requirements and there are silicon requirements. And so from an iPhone point of view, the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max will run Apple Intelligence and the successor products, obviously. If you look at the Mac, it starts with the M series of silicon that started in 2020, and the iPad is the same, and so it starts with the M series of silicon, and so there are system requirements and silicon requirements that go with each of those.
And from a gross margin standpoint, as you know, we don't provide any color past the current quarter, and we just provided guidance for the quarter, 45.5 to 46.5. It is essentially broadly in line with what we reported for the June quarter. So we'll take it quarter by quarter, and we will report as the time goes by.
Got it. Very helpful. And then a quick follow-up for Tim. Thanks for the color on China. We also seen many other consumer discretionary and luxury brands talk about a weak China, and I think, Tim, you said half the weakness was FX related. I'm curious, the other half of the weakness, was that more China macro related, or do you think it is kind of like specific to Apple with domestic competitors? Any other color you could give would be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Well, certainly the competitive environment there is the most competitive in the world. I've said that before, and that remains to be the case. The macro economic factors have been in the press too, and I'm not an expert on those. I can only tell you what we're seeing, and we were pleased that the business showed improvement from the first half of the year.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you, Krish. Operator, can we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from David Vogt with UBS. Please go ahead.
Great. Two, if I may also. Tim, first one for you. I know it's early days, and you talked about the developers just getting their hands on Apple Intelligence. But when you think about the categories that are currently in the App Store and kind of what you think app developers could do with this new technology, what's your instinct say in terms of, are these going to be iterative applications to currently available applications? Is there any sort of category that you think lends itself more naturally to Apple Intelligence? Is it games? Is it more creative? I'm just trying to get a sense for how you're thinking about it. And then I have a follow-up for Luca. Thanks.
If you look at how we've deployed Apple Intelligence or are deploying Apple Intelligence, we've really thought about it at pretty much all of the apps that you use every day. And so we've thought about it from notes to mail to messages and all the rest. And so there's been a deep level of thinking about how it affects those apps. And that's going to surface Apple Intelligence in a way that is natural to to the user and in a way that will, I think, get them very excited about it and get usage. Similarly, I think the developers will do that on a broad basis with their apps as well. And so I think it's profound, and we'll see what the developers do, but we're very excited to get the initial seed out there this week and see what they do. I think it will be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. I appreciate it. And Luca, just maybe, I know you didn't give a full rundown of product categories in your prepared remarks, but if I kind of take your comments at face value, I guess what I'm trying to think about is for the next quarter, it sounds like, with services being relatively strong and FX easing a little bit, you're effectively saying that product revenue in the September quarter is going to basically be flat with the September quarter last year ahead of a product launch. And so I'm just trying to get a sense for what are the puts and takes in that sort of outlook, particularly as you have Apple Intelligence hopefully stoking the fire for demand going forward. Thanks.
Well, we have, provided, let me repeat what we provided. We think that we're going to be growing total company revenue at a rate that is similar to what we reported, so the plus 5%, right? In spite of the fact that we're going to have some foreign exchange headwinds, we said about 150 basis points in the December quarter. And we said that we will grow services double digits at a rate that is similar to what we've reported for the first 3 quarters of the fiscal year. We are not going into the other categories. I think there's a lot of good math that you can do from what we've given you here. Keep in mind on the Mac that we will have a challenging compare from a year ago, given the fact that we launched and we had the full quarter impact of the launch of the MacBook Air 15-inch a year ago. And also on the iPad, we reported 24% growth in the June quarter. Clearly, we had the benefit from the launch in the June quarter of the new products, the iPad Air and the iPad Pro. So important to keep that in mind on a sequential basis.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Operator, may we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Atif Malik with Citi. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my questions. The first one is for Tim. I know it's early days. The feedback on Apple Intelligence software features like notification summary and reduced interruption focus from the developers who have tried the iOS 18.1 beta version this week is very positive. My question is, in response to an earlier question, you talked about a staggered launch on some of these software features. So are you expecting most of the features that you announced at WWDC to be part of iOS 18, or we should be thinking that some of these features could potentially be part of iOS 19 next year?
Our objective that we set in June is to roll out US English starting in the fall, and that's to users, and then proceed with more functionality, more features, if you will, and more languages and regions coverage as we proceed across the next year. And so we sort of gave a time frame and we're tracking to that.
Understand. And the next one for Luca. Luca, the services growth momentum seems very strong. Are you seeing any impact from changes made to comply with the DMA rules?
Well, as you know, we've introduced some changes to the way we run the App Store in Europe already in March. And we have seen a good level of adoption from developers on those changes. We are, on an ongoing basis, discussing with the European Commission how to ensure full compliance with the DMA. It's obviously early stage, but in general, our results for the services business and for the App Store have been pretty good until now. Again, to just provide you a frame of reference, the percentage of revenue that we generate from the European Union on the App Store is about 7% of the total.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Atif. Operator, may we have the next question, please?
Our next question is from Samik Chatterjee with JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
Yep. Hi. Thanks for taking my question. I guess, Tim, if I can just ask you about Apple Intelligence as well. There's a regulatory aspect as well in certain geographies. You mentioned the staggered launch that you're aiming for and the timelines you're thinking. How are you thinking about the complexity of the regulatory process, in particular like EU and maybe China? And does in terms of your timelines of the rollout, are you sort of embedding in the regulatory aspect here? And how should we think about timing then, including that? And have a follow-up. Thank you.
We're engaged, as you would guess, with both regulatory bodies that you mentioned. And our objective is to move as fast as we can, obviously, because our objective is always to get features out there for everyone. We have to understand the regulatory requirements before we can commit to doing that and commit a schedule to doing that. But we're very constructively engaged with both.
Okay, got it. And a quick one on the wearables category, Luca, I know you mentioned the acceleration there on a sequential basis. Maybe you can just sort of parse that out in terms of which categories drove the acceleration, because that's been a category that has been lagging a bit in terms of revenue trends for the past couple of quarters. So just curious what is starting to sort of drive it to accelerate on a sequential basis. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think the important thing to remember when you look at the wearables, home and accessory categories is that we have a difficult launch compare. And we've been running that for a few quarters, and we still have that because last year had the continued benefit from the AirPods Pro second generation, the Watch SE, and the very first Watch Ultra. And so it's important to keep that in mind. If you sort of take a step back, however,
as this comes to an end,
and look at the business across
on Apple, please join us here.
The trailing 12 months,
Amazon earnings.
It's grown. The wearables home accessory business has grown to almost $40 billion, which is double what it was 5 years ago.
And thanks for all the detail in the prepared remarks. Maybe a two-parter on AWS. There's been a
Thank you,
theme
Samik.
during the last.
Operator, may we have the last question, please?
Our last question is from Richard Kramer with Arete Research. Please go ahead.
Thanks very much. Tim, you referenced the investment in innovation, and your R&D sales ratio reached what I think was a June quarter record, even before launching Apple Intelligence. Do you see the rollout of these features requiring further increases in R&D or increases in OpEx or CapEx for cloud compute capacity? And is it even possible to forecast the services usage as they roll out, given that they're so new for consumers? Thanks.
Clearly, we have increased R&D over time. We've been investing in AI and ML for years. And in addition to investing more, we've also redeployed certain skills onto AI and ML. And so the growth in sort of embedded in our numbers that we've shared here is, it's increasing year over year. On the CapEx part, it's important to remember that we employ a hybrid kind of approach where we do things internally, and we have certain partners that we do business with externally, where the CapEx would appear in their respective businesses. But yes, I mean, you can expect that we will continue to invest and increase it year on year.
Okay, and maybe a quick follow-up for Luca. When we look at the free cash flow margins for the first 9 months, they're up materially. And given this year's product mix, can you describe to us what exactly in the services mix or cost controls is driving what seems to be structurally higher free cash flow margins across the business?
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. We are pretty pleased with that fact. And I think you probably also noticed that we've increased our return on capital to shareholders this quarter. I think this one was a record quarter for us. Well, it's the combination of a number of things. Of course, an improvement in the top line helps. The margin expansion that we've had over the last several years and several quarters obviously has helped. And so that is driving, better operating cash flow. On the CapEx front, as Tim said, we employ a hybrid model. Some of the investments, show up in our, on our balance sheet, and some other investments show up somewhere else, and we pay as we go. But in general, we try to run the company efficiently. We continue to think that capital efficiency is a good thing, and therefore we're pleased with the fact that our free cash flow is doing well this year.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Richard. A replay of today's call will be available for 2 weeks on Apple Podcasts as a webcast on apple.com/investor and via telephone. The number for the telephone replay is 866-583-1035. Please enter
customers. And then when you're spending more, you actually want better price performance than what you're getting. And a lot of times it's hard to get that price performance.
Okay, guys, now join us over here on the main channel for the Amazon earnings. This broadcast is now going to end.
And so we built custom silicon in the generalized